Today you guys are going to find out whether you're a noob at Redstone and you would create something like this, or if you're a pro at Redstone and you create something like that. Yo, how's it going guys, and welcome back to our Minecraft world. Today we're going to be doing something pretty fun. Now recently I've been seeing a lot of videos called Noob versus Pro, and I thought I would put my own spin on it. Now this video is going to be me showing off some Noob Redstone versus some Redstone that a pro would make. Now you could use this video as a measurement on how good you are at Redstone, but basically what we're going to be doing is comparing two different creations, one created by a new player and one created by a pro redstoner, and you can see which one is better and just compare it to yourselves. Now some of the creations in this video are going to include elevators, TNT cannons, hidden passageways, secret lock inputs, security inputs, and then hidden passageways, and a few more things. So definitely stay tuned to see all of those cool things, as well as tell me what type of redstoner are you in the comment section down below. While you're down there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also maybe hit that bell to get the notifications when I post my videos. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Now the first thing we're going to be taking a look at is the elevators, the Noob Elevator versus the Pro Elevator. Now if you're familiar with my channel, you might know these designs, but I guarantee you they are very different from one another. Okay, so first off, we're going to take a look at the Noob Elevator. Now I don't mean that this is an elevator that is bad. None of these creations are bad. It's just that when someone is first starting to learn Redstone, this is usually the things that they will make. Now this is a simple piston elevator. It's called the fastest piston elevator in Minecraft. And yeah, it's pretty simple. It barely has like any redstone. It mainly just uses pistons along with a bit of redstone repeaters and redstone. And either way, let's go ahead and test this out. So I want to step into the elevator right over here, face towards the front, and then hit this button, and it will push us up with assistance from the glass, which is keeping us inside of the elevator. Now yeah, that's pretty much it. We get to the top very quickly, and that is why it's called the fastest elevator in Minecraft. Also, to get down, we have to basically drop down onto that slime block and hold space so we don't bounce and take no fall damage. Obviously I am in creative mode, so that really doesn't matter, but when you're on survival mode, it surely does. So yeah, that's pretty much our Noob Elevator. I would consider it an elevator that someone new to Minecraft or new to Redstone will create. So yeah, that's my choice for a Noob Elevator. Now let's go ahead and take a look at my choice for the Pro Elevator. Now this one is my favorite Redstone creation in Minecraft and also my favorite elevator. It is the realistic Minecraft elevator, which basically has realistic doors as well as a realistic lift. And it just looks so cool, and I always have it on every single one of my Redstone maps. And it's also on MCPE. But let's go ahead and turn off the rain and test out this elevator. Now what we need to do is basically just walk on in. The floor is made out of glowstone, so there's a bit of lighting on the inside, and also we have some lighting coming through the glass on the ceiling. But basically once I step onto the lift and hit that button, the doors will close, and then we'll get pushed up to the second floor. And once we're up at the second floor, the doors open up, and then we could walk out. Now, just to show you guys that the doors are indeed opening and closing, you can see that the door in the bottom section is currently closed and the doors at the top section is currently open. And it happens so fast, so I really wanted to give you guys a chance to see that they are opening and closing. Now to get back down to the first floor, we could go ahead and basically step onto the lift again, hit that button, the doors will close, and we'll go back down to the first floor where the doors will open, and then we could walk out. So this is definitely a pro elevator because it uses a lot more redstone contraptions. It has teeth, flip-flops, and monostable circuits kind of built into it, along with a slime block lift and just a ton more of complexity in it. So that's why I consider it a pro elevator, and it's also a superior design. Now this next creation is going to be an armor equipment station. Now this is yet again not a bad design, it's just something I would think a noob would create, and it's basically going to be a very simple armor equipment station where you have to place the armor into the dispensers yourself. As you can see, we have a few diamond chest plates placed into one of these dispensers, and I basically have redstone all hooked up to this button, and when we enter this area, as you can see, when we have no armor on our body, click that button, it will add in that armor onto our body and we just walk out. So it's still pretty cool, very easy to build, and definitely takes a lot less time than the Pro creation. So I guess it has its advantages, but I honestly think this is super newbie, and we could, obviously create a lot better things using redstone. And the main downside to this is that you can only have like one armor set in here, because if you place down different armor sets, it might dispense in a different order, and you might end up with diamond, gold, and iron on your body when you just meant to get a full iron armor or a full gold or diamond armor. But either way, that is our noob creation. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our pro creation. So I had to go ahead and switch worlds to take a look at this massive creation. This is going to be an auto armor equipment station that has 4 different vending machine selections, and this basically has a combination of over 4,096 different types of armor sets that you could wear, because we have different colored armor. Now obviously this is all of our leather armor, and there's no diamond armor or gold armor, but it does have a lot of variation, which makes it really cool, and I think a pro design. Obviously this thing is very large. It's basically, like I said, 4 different vending machines all hooked up together, and then it basically attaches to a dispenser which dispenses all 4 armor pieces onto your body. Now as you can see, I have no armor on my body right now, but let's go ahead and select an armor and see how this thing works. Now straight off the bat, we're going to select the helmet, and to select our armor pieces, we simply right click on that arrow and point it towards the color of the item that we want. And I think that is really cool, and it makes everything so simple. So now if you want to go ahead and get a blue helmet, I would simply right click and point that arrow towards the blue helmet, and I will get that item selected. And now if I want to choose my tunic, I'm going to point it, or right click on it and point it towards the pink, and then we're going to select a purple leggings, and finally we're going to get a yellow boot. So we're going to keep right clicking on this until it cycles all the way around and selects our yellow boots. And now what I want to do is basically change into my third person perspective here, stand over there, change to third person, hit that button, and after a couple seconds you will see we'll have all of the correct armor getting placed onto our body. So it takes a while to get all the armor in there, but once it does, it places it onto your body. As you guys can see, we have our blue helmet, our pink tunic, our purple leggings, as well as our yellow boots. So how cool is that, guys? We have over 4,096, yet again, 4,096 different combinations of armors we could wear, and that's like every single day in Minecraft you could wear different armor for literally real-time years. That's pretty crazy. So this is definitely a pro creation, and probably the most advanced creation in this video. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at another contest between creations. So using redstone to put on armor is pretty fun, but what's even cooler is using redstone to create a hidden base. Now this is going to be our noob hidden base entrance, and yet again, this is not a bad creation, but I would like you guys to go down to the comment section for each one of these creations and tell me which one is your favorite out of the noob versus the pro, and also thumbs up other people's comments to see, who wins in the end. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at our noob hidden base entrance. It's going to be right in front of us, of course, and to open this up, I'm going to come over here, hit this button, and then it's going to open up a jeb door. The jeb door is going to get pulled back, and then we enter this little, spot. I didn't really create much in here, but you guys can make this lead towards anything that you like. We have a simple chest, which is empty, so there's really no reward in there, but it's a very small room with a couple torches. But anyways, we walk back outside, come back to this corner, hit that button, and as you can see, the door closes, and it's completely hidden once again. Still a pretty cool design, and a lot simpler to create compared to our next design, but let's go ahead and take a look at the pro creation. Now this is going to be a waterfall hidden entrance. Now one thing I want you guys to keep in mind when you're judging this is that of course it needs to be built in an actual world where you can hide all of the redstone, but at the moment it is built in a floating world just for the sake of this video. But either way, this is going to be a very cool creation. We have some of the redstone exposed over here, but you can hide this quite easily, and there's all the other redstone at the back. back. It's very complicated, but it's also really cool, and it just, it's kind of like showing off to your friends and creating a hidden entrance at the same time. So basically what you see in the world is this waterfall, and this waterfall is just, falling down like normal, but when you come over here and hit this button, it's going to basically bring up a drawbridge, open up a piston door, a jet door behind there, and also split the waterfall in half so you could walk over that bridge through the jet door and enter your hidden house or base. It's really cool. We have some cake in there at the moment because I couldn't build an entire base, but yeah, that is pretty much our waterfall entrance. I really think this is awesome and a very pro design. Now of course when you exit, you could go ahead and hit this button to basically reclose that waterfall. It's going to close up the jet door and fix the water as well as remove that little bridge. Of course, you can replace that block so it's more hidden, as well as you could place a button on the other side to basically close it from the inside of your base. So I personally prefer the first creation, the noob creation. Even though it's a noob creation, I think it's very easy to create, a lot faster, and you can also hide it just as efficiently, or maybe more efficient than the waterfall itself. Alright, so now we have something very simple, but I still want to cover it because it really shows who is a noob and who is a pro at Redstone. Now this is going to be simple redstone lighting. I know it's kind of boring, but it's going to be quick, as well as I do want to highlight the differences. Now the first thing we're going to take a look at is of course the noob redstone, and that's going to be a simple lever connecting up to some redstone lamps. Now obviously when you flick that lever, it's going to turn on the redstone lamps, and it works just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people prefer using a lever, but I honestly think the levers look too bulky and it's too easy to find them across the map. Now this not only counts for lighting, but just Redstone Creations in general. I hate when people use levers to activate them because someone could just enter your house and just hit all of the levers in there and possibly just break everything or just find all of your hidden bases. But if you go ahead and turn off that lever and turn off the lighting in the process, we can now take a look at the second option, my preferred method of activating Redstone Creations as well as lighting, which is going to be a T flip-flop button. And pro Redstone creators usually use this one because it just looks a lot cleaner and it's easier to hide it on the wall, especially if this was a stone wall just like that. But either way, when we go ahead and click on this button, it's basically just going to turn on the lights, keep it on, and then it pretty much acts like a lever. So now when you go ahead and hit that button again, it turns the light off and essentially does the same thing. Now obviously the lever is easier to create, as well as it's quicker, but I honestly prefer the T flip-flop method. Now this is going to be a passcode locked door, and this is going to use simple levers to create a combination lock. Now if you guys don't know how this works, you basically just have inverted torches that activate and deactivate one redstone signal, so you have to get the right combination in order to open up the door. Now if you guys want a full tutorial for anything you see in this video, leave a comment for that down below as well. But either way, let's go ahead and activate the doorway by entering our combination. But first, I actually want to activate all of the levers just to show you guys that when you activate all of the levers, it doesn't actually open up the door. Okay, so we have to get the correct combination over here. Even if we have just a few of them, but we miss one, it will not open up the door. So what we need to do is flick all of the levers with the signs on them. So it's going to be 1, 2, and then I believe that's 5. So once we have 1, 2, and 5 activated, it's going to open up that door, and then we could walk on through. Now, obviously, we're using the iron door as a, just as a placeholder. We could place down any item that we choose, and any item that we want to connect this passcode system to. So it could be a vault door, it could be a lighting system, or it could just be a hidden base entrance. Pretty much anything. It doesn't need to be a door. In fact, it could be any redstone contraption. But once we change one of those levers, the door do close, and it works just fine. And this also works in Minecraft Pocket Edition, so it's pretty cool for using it there as well. So here's our pro redstone creation. This is going to be an item frame combination lock, and this has over 1,000 different combination possibilities, as well as you don't need to use arrows. You could have all of these things facing different combination codes and place something such as a potato in there and make it even harder to kind of decipher. But either way, that is our item frame combination lock. If you guys don't know how it works, it's very similar to the vending machine that we took a look at earlier. It basically uses the positions of the items in the item frame as the key code combinations. Now if you guys don't know, each item frame has 8 different combination positions. The first one is going to be pointed up towards the right side, light. And yet again, if you're not using an arrow, this is going to be very difficult to decipher, as well as you could blend this into decorations of your house. But either way, to open up our specific door and redstone creation, we basically want to just point the arrow towards a light in the center. So I'm going to change this to position number 3. This one is going to change into position number 5, I believe. This is going to be in position number 1, and this is going to be into position number 7. It will light that redstone lamp up and then open up our door, which we can then walk on through and enter our base. So yet again, you can connect this up to any redstone creation that you choose. So you can maybe connect it up to a missile silo and use this as a security measure against, launching different, missiles and whatnot, just like role playing. But also, if you change one of these iron frames, it will shut off. So as you guys can see, that's pretty much how that works. And I will link a tutorial to this in the description box down below, or maybe just a whole Redstone Tutorials playlist if you guys want to check that out. But either way, that is the Pro creation. I personally prefer this one because I think it's harder to decipher, as well as, like I mentioned, if you just use a random block, say for instance you place down a a square block or a cube block like this, it's going to be very, very difficult for someone to guess that combination. But I like using things such as potatoes that have like different edges. That way you can actually tell where it is, or maybe a melon, since a melon is oddly shaped. So if the melon is facing towards this direction, then you have one of the combinations correct. Next up, I wanted to take something very familiar to you guys in Minecraft and then show you a much better way to create it. Now this is going to be a simple TNT cannon, which I actually created in MCPE, and it also works in all of the versions of Minecraft, and it just uses a minecart system to activate TNT and then shoot it off into the distance in various different angles. So it shoots close sometimes as well as far. But let's go ahead and grab ourselves some TNT and a minecart in order to make this thing work. You can place as much TNT as you need in here to send it a different distance, but I like filling it all the way up. So what we're going to do is just fill this up with TNT just like this, and place down a TNT over here, which is going to be our ammunition. It takes quite a lot of TNT in order to fire this thing, so that's a major downside to it. But when you place down a minecart over here and hit that button, it's going to activate all of our TNT. Then it's going to fire it, and check that out, it goes quite the distance. The first hit landed right over there, the second one landed there, and the third one landed all the way over there. So it's very kind of volatile because it really doesn't have a nice projected area of impact. It just fires everywhere all willy-nilly, but it's pretty cool. But like I said, the major downside to it is that you use up a lot of TNT when you're trying to fire this thing. So let's go ahead and just fill it up one more time and fire it yet again and see where this TNT goes. So it takes a couple seconds, but as you guys can see, we'll fire that TNT off, and boom, it fired it into the first hole, even though we used the same amount of TNT. But either way, that is going to be our, first TNT cannon. It does drop the minecart, so you don't need to keep getting minecarts back. The only thing that you'll need is a lot of TNT, so you'll need to kill a lot of creepers. For this creation, I'm going to revisit an old world that I showed off in a video called 5 Ways to Attack an Enemy Base. You guys can go ahead and take a look at that if you want to see some more crazy creations just like this one. But this is basically going to be an automatic TNT cannon that actually launches 8 blocks into the air, and it can launch over castle walls, it can launch over the obsidian wall, and then land on this house and destroy it. Now it's a pretty ugly house, so I am just eager to destroy this thing. So let's go ahead and come over here, flick this lever, and shoot off a TNT. So I'm going to quickly flick it and then turn it off just to fire one simple TNT, and boom, take a look at that. It goes over our 8-foot tall wall, and then really doesn't do a lot of damage to the house. It didn't actually do any damage to the house for some reason, but yeah, the TNT did land on its target, and we could use it to basically fire automatically if we flick that lever and leave it. So let's go ahead and turn this on and then continuously fire TNT. Just take a look at this thing. It's going to start blowing up the house now, since we fired about 4 TNT just when I was just saying that. And just look at that, it's just a relentless blow of TNT. It's completely destroying the entire area. It's going to start digging down a deep canal into the center of the earth, or as far as the TNT could go. And yeah, that thing is just devastating. You could lob TNT from over your wall towards your enemies. And it's also expandable, so you could just place on more sticky pistons over here, as well as more dispensers, and have 10 TNTs launching at the same time. And you could have this for defense of your base, or you could build it on the outside of your enemy's base and then launch TNT over the wall. So this thing is also a lot more compact compared to the other TNT launcher, and it only uses one TNT in order to activate, so it doesn't waste any TNT at all, and it will do the maximum amount of damage. So I really think this is the greatest TNT cannon you could possibly create, as well as you can activate this one and activate another one. And at the same time, you would take the build and activate the other TNT cannon. So take a look at this, guys. We're just destroying everything using just 2 of these things. Just imagine having about 5 or 6 of them. It would just destroy the entire map. Okay, so this is going to be our final creation. I saved the piston door for last, since I know you guys probably know everything there is to know about piston doors. But this is going to be a very simple noob piston door that is a 2x1 double piston extension. It's still very useful, and I use it for some of my builds to create like back doors or side doors, not the main front door. But either way, this is our front door created by our 2x1 noob piston door, and it uses sand as well as double piston extensions like I mentioned. And basically what we do is just hit that button, it drops on our sand, we walk through, hit that button, and it sends it right back up. So it's pretty useful. There's everything that you'd want to need in this creation. So yeah, let's go ahead and now take a look at the Pro version and see which one you guys prefer. So for this creation, yet again, we're on a separate world, and this is going to be a 2x2 hipster door. Now, if you guys don't know what a hipster door is, it basically is a door where all of the redstone is located beneath the map, meaning that both sides of the map is totally clear. Even this section you don't really need. There's no redstone being hidden beneath this. This is just a decorative doorway. Now right in front of us we have ourselves our doorway. As you guys can see, this could be either flush with a hidden area, or it could just be like a doorway just like this. And what we basically have to do to open this up is to right click on that button, and then it will basically pull our blocks into the ground. We walk on through, and like I said, there's no redstone on either side of this wall, which I think is the greatest part, since you could just straight up put this in your front doorway without worrying about having to build hidden like spots over here where you have to hide all the redstone and stuff. You don't have to do any of that because it's all below the map. And then to send this back up, we basically hit this button, and then it pushes up very quickly. So it's also very fast, and I think a lot better than the sand door. And I think comparing this to the sand door, this is maybe faster even though it's a 2x2 hipster door, it's pretty quick. So let's come back over here and hit that button again to open up the door. As you guys can see, it takes quite a while to open, but once we get back to the outside and hit that button, it closes very quickly. And honestly, I think I prefer this one. I think anyone would prefer this one, even though it's very complicated to create. I mean, it's very complicated to create, but it definitely pays off because this thing is really cool and would make for a very nice front door. So guys, that is pretty much going to wrap up today's Redstone video. Tell me in the comment section down below whether you're a pro or a noob, as well as you could go ahead and take a look at some other cool creations and Redstone tutorials on your screen right now by clicking on that, or by pressing on your phone, since it works on mobile as well. But either way, this was Twist, and I'll see you guys next time.